when you have Aaron Jones in the backfield, feed him the ball. Anything can happen with this guy. Get to watch the Packers today. Aaron Jones is going to totally dominate, going to run all over the Raiders, and I'm going to score some big time fantasy points. Packers by 21, right? Am I right? Man, I'm just so excited for this game. That's weird. Notification from Twitter. What? So you're telling me that Aaron Jones is not playing today? Well, I guess A.J. Dillon's going to be in the lineup. Maybe he'll run for over 100 yards. It's the Raiders. The Packers will still beat them by 21, right?
3 hours later.
Oh. Wow. The Packers didn't do so hot. Well, at least they only lost by 3 points. And at least they're not like the Bears, who only have 1 win. I'm going off to bed. Well, it wasn't the outcome that we all expected the Packers would have Monday night. The Packers lost to the Raiders 17-13, and there were a lot of offensive mistakes. The Packers offense just got off to a really slow start. Again, this is the same story we've been talking about all season long, and through 5 games right now, we've seen the Packers just get off to a very slow start. The only fast start I saw the Packers got on offense was probably during the Bears game, the season opener. You saw Jordan Love drive down the field and opening drive, touchdown to Romeo Doubs. That was the last time the Packers had a fast start. While the Packers defense was able to hold Josh Jacobs to under 100 yards and former Packers wide receiver Davante Adams to 4 catches for 45 yards, the Packers offense wasn't able to capitalize on any opportunities given by the Packers defense. You saw the Packers only get 3 points in the first half. Now, in the second half against the Raiders, the Packers did an awesome job there on offense. First drive, first of all, Rudy Ford, interception, gives the Packers offense great field position. The Packers straight up ran the ball down the Raiders' throats and finished off the drive the way they started the drive, pounding the ball and getting A.J. Dillon in the end zone. That tied up the game 10-10. Now on the second drive of the second half, you were pinned down deep, but Jordan Love did what Jordan Love does and found Christian Watson, 77 yards. Could have been a touchdown, but instead I think he was tackled at the 3 or 2 yard line. But the Packers couldn't punch it in from inside the 5. Instead, they settled for a field goal, 13-10. But that's all the Packers offense did, and then completely shut down in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love struggled against the Raiders and threw 3 interceptions. He ended the night 16 for 30 for 182 yards and no touchdowns. Meanwhile, without Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon had a decent night. Dillon rushed for 76 yards on 20 carries with 1 touchdown. The Packers offense, though, had a tough time with the passing game. The leading receiver in yardage for the Packers was Christian Watson, who had 3 catches for 91 yards. 77 of those yards came on 1 big play in the third quarter. Now, the offensive line play was just not very good, and the Packers are starting to realize that life after David Bakhtiari isn't going to be very good if somebody doesn't step in his place or step up. Max Crosby, man, that man was in the Packers backfield, just living in the Packers backfield. The Packers had no answer for Max Crosby at all. He did only have 1 sack, but he was just terrorizing the Packers offensive line. And just throwing a wrench into the Packers offensive game plans. So the Packers head into the bye week on a 2-game losing streak. They head into the bye week right now 2-3, which is not very good for the Packers. To only muster 13 points against a Raiders team whose defense was also battling injuries, that's just unacceptable. The offense needs to have a better game plan. Clearly, the passing game was working for a little bit, but again, 3 interceptions. That's not acceptable from Jordan Love. And the passing game needs to get better. I know Christian Watson has been out for a couple of games, but he needs to step up. He needs to step up and be that number one wide receiver that the Packers are looking for. The Packers have 13 days to prepare for the Denver Broncos, who lost to Chiefs Thursday night. They head to the game 1-5. So, again, I don't want to assume anything, but this should be a win for the Packers. And if it isn't a win, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered